What's going on, everybody? It's me, Dr. Brandon W. Jones, your Chief Village Building Strategist, and you are tuned into the Building the Village podcast. I'm super excited to be talking with you all as always. If you're looking around in the background and you're noticing something different, it's because I am doing exactly what I said I was going to do. I told y'all in episode 30 that you're going to see me out in the community. I'm going to be on location. I'm going to be recording pretty much wherever inspiration strikes. And it just so happens that I am in Seattle, Washington right now. I'm attending a conference for my job at the University of Texas, and I've had some thoughts. I've had some thoughts. Before we jump into the content, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been liking, commenting, and subscribing all across platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to the audio from. For those of you who become subscribers to the YouTube channel, thank you. You're going to start seeing some more content coming. And so to be consistent and to make sure we're hitting our goals for this year, I'm recording in Seattle. I was talking to Morris the other day and I was saying, look, I want to record while I'm there. I feel like inspiration's going to strike. And here I am in my hotel room. I was walking to get breakfast a little bit ago and I just really was like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to the people. I got to talk to the village. And so, again, if you're out there, and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, make sure you follow me on all platforms at B Jones Speaks on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also you can find my website, B Jones Speaks. You can find my link tree with all the information in it in the liner notes for this episode. I want to keep up with you. I want y'all to keep up with me because I've got a lot of cool stuff coming your way, and I hope you'll consider supporting building the village in whatever way that looks like for you. So let's dive into the content real quick. So you're not gonna get the fancy music today. You're not gonna get a lot of the cool trappings and trimmings of a fully produced episode because I just wanted to get this out there. So I ain't even make my bed up to try to impress y'all. So let's just chat for a second. So the other day, I was meeting with my dietitian and we had set some goals and I reached a lot of those goals. And a couple of the goals that we had set, I had a weight loss goal that I wanted to accomplish for the month of February. And we came up a little bit short. And I noticed that while I was giving her the rundown of how the last month had been, and I noticed that she was just like, yeah, okay, everything's cool, everything's positive. And I noticed that she never approached me from this deficit perspective. She never checked me and was like, oh, you didn't do right this day or you didn't do right that. It was just very much, hey, great job. A lot of cheering, a lot of pats on the back, and focusing on the things that I did well. Now, I got to the end of that appointment with my dietitian, and I was just like, well, hey, I'd like to be able to keep this up, but at the same time, I'm like, I struggled a little bit. And you know what she said to me? She said, Brandon, I need you to get out of this all or nothing thinking. You're so focused on the fact that you didn't reach one or two metrics or one or two goals that we set that you missed all the other things that you accomplished. Your blood pressure is lower. Your cardio is better. You're sleeping better. You've been eating healthier. You drank more water. You've hit a couple of key weight loss points. And while focusing so much on the negativity, I missed the fact that I had achieved all of those things because I think we all do this, and that's what the purpose of today's episode is going to be about is dealing with perfectionism. We're going to talk about perfectionism because the truth of the matter is, I think every last one of us deals with it. None of us are immune to this because we want to, quote unquote, get it right. We all want to reach our financial goals. We want to reach our new year. We want to fulfill our New Year's resolutions. We want to set our families up for success, however we're defining that. All of us fall into this trap of perfectionism. And perfection is at its core what it means. It's getting it perfect every single time consistently. Now, I don't know about you all, but I make mistakes. I make them all the time. And so that disqualifies me from ever being perfect. However, I'm noticing a very dangerous trend And the reason why I want to talk to you all about it is because one of the things that I'm seeing in the village, y'all know that I pastor middle school and high school students each week. And I also work at a university setting. So I deal with youth and young adults from middle school through graduate school on a daily basis, Sunday through Sunday. One of the things that I'm noticing that's happening even with our middle schoolers, even with our sixth, seventh, and eighth graders, is there's this trend of having to do every single thing right. Had a conversation with a student the other day, and had a conversation um, with a student the other day. And one of the things that became very clear in the middle of the conversation was she really wanted, she's got goals, she's got dreams, and she's got vision, but she's already stressed about college admissions. She's already stressed about applications for housing. And I'm like, you're 12. What has gone on in the world where our 12-year-olds think that they have to have their lives figured out by the age of 12? But then I thought about it and I was like, we do this to ourselves a lot. We do this with our college admission standards. We do this with social media, trying to portray this perfect life or having it all together or having everything figured out. Perfectionism is a sickness. It can rob us of being able to enjoy moments that when you really drill down to the core of what it is we really need to have, it's as perfect can be, but we get so caught up in measuring and comparing ourselves to other people that we fall for the trap of perfectionism and we make one mistake. I jokingly talk about how if I don't work out on Monday, my week is shot, and it's like, oh well, I'll try again on Monday. Or any new trend or anything that I'm trying to implement in my life, I always want to start it on a Monday, because if I don't do it on Monday, starting at the gym on Tuesday don't work for me. That just seems odd. Or starting on Wednesday. And the reality is all of us fall for that at some point. So how do we overcome it? How do we navigate that? Why is that important in the village? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to highlight three things, and then I'm going to let y'all get on with your day. But the first thing is, y'all, if we're going to overcome perfectionism, we are going to have to find a way to fall out of love with the grind. Now, if you've listened to hip hop or rap music, or if you've been paying attention to our society, you ask somebody, hey, how you doing? Like, man, I'm just grinding. Man, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B, all of these things. And I'm like, where did we get that from? Where did we get that mindset that I'm not achieving unless I'm doing? That I'm not, if I'm not busy, I'm not achieving. Let me tell y'all something. Busyness does not equal productive. I hope that helps somebody. I'll say it again. Busyness does not equal productivity. Just because I'm busy going from point A to point B, I'm up, I'm moving. That doesn't mean I'm being productive. You can have great impact with less effort. A lot of us are trying too hard in relationships. We're trying too hard at work. We're trying too hard with our kids. We're trying too hard, and it's stressing us out. Another thing that happens with this grind culture is, some of us don't sleep. Some of us don't get any rest whatsoever. And I'm guilty of this. Everybody who knows me knows that, I struggled with insomnia for years. And I thought it was because I was trying to be productive and I was trying to grind and I was trying to make stuff happen. And it was like, no, it's one of the symptoms of my anxiety disorder. And had I not sat down and talked with a therapist and talked with a specialist and gotten some help with that, I don't know if I would even be alive right now, because I wasn't really sleeping, and I didn't get a lot of sleep for years. It's only within the last 5 years or so that I've actually been able to get more restful sleep in my life. But it took my body, it took me listening to my body and realizing that this grind life, this perpetual nonstop hustle, if you will, is unsustainable. And so we got to fall out of love with the grind. I hear people in music talking about, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Hmm. You'll get there fast if you don't sleep. I've had students tell me, if I'm resting, man, that's lazy. That's not productive. And then I'm going, but if you're not fueled up for the day and you're not rested, how are you giving your best? Which brings me to the next one. So not only do we have to fall out of love with the grind, um, you have to do what's best. And I mean that in every way, shape, form, or fashion. And here's what I'm saying. You have to sit down and decide at your job, with your children, with your money, with your business, with whatever the case may be. You've got to decide what best is. And whatever that is, do that and do that every day. Decide what best is, do that and do it every single day. Now, here's a kicker. I need y'all to lean in just a little bit. Your best should evolve over time. Your best should evolve over time. When you first learned to walk as a kid, you got better over time. So your best on that first day looks significantly different than your best on day 2 and day 3 in year 1, in year 3. Now, as an adult listening to this podcast, you're not walking the same, right? You're not acting the same. Your best should evolve over time. See, a lot of us get caught up because we've defined best and capped it. And as a result, we're thinking that last year's effort is going to be what we need to do what we need to do this year. Let me tell you something. That's not how life works. My best should evolve over time because life happens, life be lifing, okay? And because life be life, and sometimes we got to make some adjustments. So what was best in 2023, I may not be able to do that anymore because I'm older. I have different time constraints on my life, or I may have some movements that are a little bit more restricted this year. So I got to redefine what best is. And you do that by sitting down and taking an evaluation of where you are regularly. Some of us only do this at the new year. And then we wonder why we don't reach those New Year's resolutions because it's like, man, you setting up goals for an entire year without any check-ins throughout the year to see if there's some adjustments that need to be made. Some of us just need to take a calculated adjustment. It's March now. Am I in the same state of mind that I was in January or December when I made those New Year's resolutions? Am I physically able to do what I was doing or said I wanted to do? Has my life changed? Am I taking care of an aging parent now? Do I have another child to feed now? Are my responsibilities different in different places in the world? I don't know what that is for you, but I do know that your best should evolve over time. Now, in the corporate sense, this is what your strategic plan is. You go and revisit that document all the time. You check in with your supervisor and then your one-on-ones, and you decide, okay, this is what works for me, or, oh, okay, this is where we are. We might need to make some adjustments. It's okay. Here's another thing. Since we're talking about perfectionism, I'm going to throw this one at you for free. Y'all ready? It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. We've got students who go to colleges and universities or people who take jobs and they get in there and they realize it's no longer a good fit. It's okay to change your mind because with new information, that's what happens when we have these paradigm shifting moments. I understand my current way of thinking. I get presented with new facts, new information, new ways of being, and then I make a choice. Keep doing what I'm doing in light of this new information or do something different. It is okay to change your mind. Do it. Pivot, make an adjustment. Because the reality is if your best is going to evolve over time, then that means that the tasks that you do every day, your morning routine, um, A lot of different things are going to have to adjust over time too. It's okay. Here's the last thing I'll say. The last thing I'll say is this. As members of the village, we've got to help others be the best version of themselves. We've got to pay attention to our kids in the village. We've got to pay attention to our family members in the village. We've got to pay attention to the role we play in the village. That's why the show is Building the Village, because we're building better villages, one villager at a time. So I need you to understand these things for yourself. And you also got to help others be the best version of themselves. So here's what that means. You're not going to like it. That means that I have to be able to receive feedback, even if I don't like it. I need to be able to be held accountable for my actions, for the words that I use, for how I presented myself in a meeting or how I came across while talking to that person. I've got to pay attention because that's what it means to be a better villager. That's what it means to build the village. I want to help others be the best version of themselves. That's what I do. I believe that is my purpose in this world. That's why I do this podcast. I don't do this because I'm bored or I'm trying to be a media mogul. No, I want something that's going to outlive me. And I feel like this content that I'm producing, I feel like the things that I do, the speeches that I give, the time that I invest in people, that's going to be my mark on this planet. But I need people who can call me and say, hey, man, if you're going to be building the village, you need to know this is how you came across the other day. This is how you sounded the other day in that meeting. This is how people received what you said. And I have to make adjustments. I'm not changing my personality. I'm not changing who I am. I have to make adjustments so that I can show up as the best version of myself. And as a result, I want to pour that, excuse me, I want to pour that into other people as well. And so my hope and my prayer is that you take these 4 steps that I gave you. Fall out of love with the grind, um, evolving your best over time, being okay with changing your mind, and then helping others be the best version of themselves. I hope this was productive for you. I hope this was helpful. And I pray that you do use these steps and do something with this information so that you can build better villages, one village at a time. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace. God bless.